Alright guys, so this is going to be a fun video because I've talked about like what kind of animals could survive or what people could survive what city. But this time around it's going to be fun because we have something that's more like not so much could this character survive in this world, but more like could this world survive this character living there. And that is, could Conan survive Amphibia? Quick answer, yes. But like I said, one of the things that is, like I said, it's not so much Conan surviving on Amphibia, it's more like could Amphibia survive Conan? So let's say hypothetically there was no Anne, and the Calamity Box was instead in Conan's world, you know, and Conan discovered the Calamity Box, and it sent him to Amphibia. It wouldn't be too much, you know, it wouldn't be too much of a world that is different from the one Conan came from. It's just a lot more lush and swampy, and Conan would just be like, okay, I'm here now. And that's really it. You have to understand that Conan doesn't, Conan's not gonna care. He's just gonna be like, there's gonna be some technology, and we'll get into it, that's a little more advanced, but similarity-wise, this wouldn't be so much of a world that Conan wouldn't be, you know, used to. It's a world where the strong survive and the weak die, or you get eaten. That's really how it plays out, is, that's kind of how it plays out in Amphibia, where, for lack of a better word, there is a class system going on, so get fucking used to it. That's kind of it. And not to mention there's giant animals that will eat people. And also a tyrannical government and a bully faction as well. So, yeah. So, instead of like three girls who understand and, you know, come together with the power of friendship, it's more, here's an angry barbarian who desires grog and, you know, ale and women. Yeah. I'm pretty sure after discovering that he's the only human left, the only human on this world, I have no doubt in my mind that Conan would be like, these scale women, these salamander women, I could do this. No, like, trust me, Conan would probably, Conan's fucked far worse if you've read the Dark Horse comics or read the books. Conan has put his dick in other things. So, give him time, he probably would try to, you know, and finding out that there may not be a way back to his world, he'd just be like, okay, I claim these women. But they're salamander. I claim these women. So that's how I think it would play out. So, Conan, let's talk about, like, his interaction in the world. Obviously, let's talk about before we go into talking about the actual civilians, frogs, toads, salamanders, let's talk about, or the newts, or Newtopia. Let's talk about, like, the wildlife Conan would encounter. Obviously, in Amphibia, it's no walk in the park. There's really nowhere you could go that's more or less safe. It's more like you exist in this world and it's full of pain. Giant snakes, lizards that will eat people, bugs that will eat people, fungi that will mind control you, and, of course, the giant herons. But Conan has fought dragons, demons, gods, and all of the above with sometimes his bare fists. And I'm pretty sure that Conan, when he encounters a giant snake that would try to eat him, Conan would just draw his sword and go, I'm eating good tonight. And 10 minutes later, he's over a hot fire, just kind of cooking pieces of snake as he's eating the meat off of it. So that's how I kind of see it, is that Conan would be very much at home in this swamp world, where he'd just be hunting and fishing for things that would hunt and fish for him. Conan also doesn't like civilization, so I have no doubt in my mind that he would just be kind of out in the woods, as like, almost like Bigfoot, where he'd just be like, just out in the woods and staying away from the amphibian kind for a while. He would just be kind of out there in the shadows, just kind of like, don't know if I can trust these creatures, but I'm gonna keep my distance and live in the wilds. It's civilization, I hate that. So, that's how I kind of see it starting out. But yeah, if you think, like, Conan is going to have problems with a giant snake, or a lizard, or massive ants that spit acid, you don't know Conan. even the hair, like even a pair of herons, he'd be like, just draw a sword and be like, "Come get your throat cut, bird." Yeah. Now let's talk about the civilizations. Frogs first and foremost. Let's talk about, obviously, frogs. Frogs would be a fascinating one because I feel like he would just kind of like be like, frog people, gross, and kind of keep his distance. I also think that Conan would probably eat some of the amphibians. He'd be like, they're not human, and I've eaten frog on my world before, so maybe it's just bigger. It's not cannibalism. So I have no doubt in my mind Conan would probably eat some of the people from, he'd probably eat some people. He'd probably eat some frog people. But yeah, Conan would also, like, kind of, like, keep his distance, but if he got, like, remember, he's not really a hero, he's more of a, you pay him and he does stuff. Now, the toads would be interesting. The toads would find him as a threat. This unknown creature who carries swords and can slay giant monsters, yeah, they would consider him a threat to them. So I could just see, like, Grime and just sending out platoons of his best toad warriors into, like, the deepest swamps where Conan was spotted, and all he hears is the dying screams of his men as they're butchered by Conan, and then a head just goes flying out of the darkness, and all the other toads just flee from just the sight of what they just witnessed. Salamanders, oh boy. Andreas is not going to tolerate some human, some barbarian, let alone a human barbarian, exist. He is in no way, shape, or form going to allow some creature like that to be around and possibly be a threat to his plans. Conan has dealt with robots before, if you've read the Marvel books, so the Frobots would be interesting to encounter. If he encountered the Frobots, he'd be like flying metal men. I've dealt with these creatures before and proceed to destroy them. I also think General Yunin would see Conan as a worthy opponent, someone she'd want to like. Conan would be General Yunin's Moby Dick. Like, she'd be the Ahab to Conan's Moby Dick, because yeah, I suspect Andreas would put Yunan in charge of hunting down and killing Conan, but Conan would keep evading or killing her way through men. And it would almost be like Yunan would have, like, respect for this hairless ape. Yeah. I also kind of imagine a scene where, like someone's talking, someone like Hop Pop talking to Yunan, and Yunan's like, "You're telling me that 100 of my finest warriors is a no-win scenario?" And he's like, "If you go in that swamp again, you best take something with you. Body bags." It would just be like, just imagine that scene from First Blood, but with Conan, and he's brutally murdering these people. That's kind of how I see this playing out. But yeah. Conan would thrive. Everyone else would just have to get used to living with this mountain of just brutality, who would just be at home in this world. Like, there's no other way to put it. He would just be at home wrecking everyone's shit as he saw fit. I think I just rhymed there. But yeah, that's how I see it playing out. Conan would just acclimate quickly and just be a pain in the ass for both the toads and the salamanders. The frogs he wouldn't give a shit about. Maybe eat one or two just to see how they taste. Because he's eaten frogs before, so it's just a human-sized frog, not cannibalism. But yeah, that's how I kind of see this playing out. It would be, like I said at the beginning of this video, not so much Conan surviving on Amphibia, but Amphibia surviving Conan. So yeah. There's really no other way to put it, honestly. So, yeah. This was a really fun one. I've been meaning to get around to this video, but you guys tell me in the comments below. Do you think Conan could survive on Amphibia? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.